Okay, so as hosts and property managers, sometimes we have a lot of tools at our fingertips and we're not sure how to get the very best out of them to outperform the peers and the competition within our industry. Today on the episode on the Boostly podcast, we're going to be talking to a very special guest who's going to be sharing his solution and his company's solution to that problem. So if you haven't listened to this podcast before, you're listening to the Boostly podcast. This is the podcast that helps hosts with the tools, the tactics, the trainings, and most importantly, the confidence to go out there and get more direct bookings. My name is Carolan, and we do this mini series where we look at businesses and people within the short-term rental industry that can help you as a host and a property manager really excel at what you do. So today, I'm very excited to present Eduardo Mandri. He is the CEO and co-founder of Angel Host. They're a fantastic company, which we're going to learn more about today. You can go and check them out at www.myangelhost.com. And they're a company which, whether you own or manage properties, they have rental management experts that ensure that you outperform your market, which is just so important, especially today more than ever. So welcome along, Eduardo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, man. Appreciate having me today. That's awesome.
Would you mind starting by just introducing yourself and the elevator pitch of what the company does? I know I've given you a bit of a lead up there, but in your own words, what does Angel Host, My Angel Host, do?
Absolutely. I actually started the company about 5 years ago. I was a property owner myself, working closely with my property manager that was taking care of my property. And I loved everything they did. They were really good with taking care of my property. However, I realized that when it came to optimizing sales and using the latest technology, they were probably not up to date with all the latest trends and all the latest technology, and it was hard for them to keep up with all of those things. So Angel Host comes as an offer to property managers to help them optimize their operations. So property managers, instead of having to get a special technology for dynamic pricing and another one for sending onboarding passports to their clients, or needing to have a guest service team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we provide all of those services for them. And by using the best-in-class technology coupled with a really good team, we managed to outperform every single market where we work by at least 30 to 40%. It's not really rocket science. It's just that we have a team of specialists and a good technology. And that's how we collaborate with property management companies around the world.
What would you say to a host or a manager who's got all these tools in place, and there'll be people listening to this who know that they're not getting the best out of those tools? Is there mistakes that you see hosts make over and over? Are there common sort of errors that you see?
Totally. I think one of the biggest and most common mistakes is underestimating the time it takes to perfect the usage of a tool, right? Like it's like buying a private plane and you want that plane to bring you from point A to point B, but it's not just about buying the plane, it's about learning how to fly it and learn how to operate under different weather conditions. And it's the same whether you're buying a PMS or a dynamic pricing tool or a guest communication service. It's not just about researching which is the best one out there, but also learning how to use it. And a lot of people underestimate the time it's going to take, or don't pay as much attention into the actual implementation as they did in the selection of the tool. So I would really encourage people to be very, very aware that the real work starts not when you as you're trying to choose the right tool, but once you chose the tool, to put it in place and to start using it. I think that's it's important to pay attention to that and to invest time in learning how to use the tool properly.
And for the property managers who are listening to this, there's going to be a lot of them who don't know whether or not how they're performing in their market. They woke up one day, they've started managing their properties, they've taken on a few friends' properties, and all of a sudden they're a property manager. What should they really be looking at? What kind of KPIs should they have in place, key performance indicators, and how will they know if they aren't outperforming the market and if they could use My Angel Host's help, really?
Right, and a very good question. Most most property managers sometimes don't really have an idea. They just have a clue based on what they heard the neighbors say or other property managers in the area, or just their overall feeling. I feel that my occupancy rate is good because I'm busy 65% of the times, but you can't really tell how well you're performing unless you compare yourself to others, right? And that's why we take the time and invest the resources, for example, to buy the reports from third-party companies, whether it's AirDNA or whether it's Key Data or even our pricing tool, Price Labs, like whatever tool that we use. We need tools that provide us market information. That's the only way we can tell not only we are outperforming the market, but it's the only way to determine whether we need to take action concerning rates or concerning promotions. Unless you know how your properties are performing, let's say as of today, for arrivals in October or November or December, you might be leaving money on the table by having already too much of your inventory booked for those dates when the market is not really yet booked. Or you might also be losing out if most of the properties, should have already been rented because it's low season and you miss your opportunity and now you're trying to rent it at the last minute. So it's so important to have data in order to compare yourself to other property managers and to the market in general, not only to understand where you stand, but also to take measures in terms of what strategies you need to do, what you need to do.
Is there a typical size of property manager that you tend to help the best? Is this obviously if somebody's just launched on Airbnb, this probably isn't for them, but is there a particular size manager that you're helping most?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when a property manager is very small and handles 2, 3, 5 properties, I think they're still capable, just by sheer effort and just by investing the hours required to properly manage those properties. But as soon as you get past that point, and I think our sweet spot is anywhere between 5 and 10 on the low end, up to 150 on the high end, I think we are a really, really good solution for them. Once you get to 150 or 200 listings, you should be in a position where you can hire your own revenue managers. You're in a position to offer 24-hour, 7 days a week guest service. You should be in a position to have someone full-time for listing optimization. So I would say that's the sweet spot, right? That's where we can really make a difference. And our goal is to put all those property managers at the same level playing field as the very large property managers that have 1,000, 2,000 properties and have all the resources at their disposal. We want to make sure that we level it, that we provide the tools and the solutions required to the property managers so that even though they're small, they can operate at the levels of efficiency of the very large players in the market.
So thank you so much, Eduardo, for sharing your story, your journey. Certainly my takeaway from this today is to don't leave data without having an investigation. Look at it, see what you can learn from it, and then obviously reach out to the people who are the experts and see if you can get some help from them. So thank you so much. Was there anything last year before we bring it to a close?
No, just wanted to thank you. It's been a lot of fun. You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thank you.
So I really appreciate your time, Liam. Thank you so much.
Very kind. Thank you very much, Eduardo. And thank you too if you're watching or listening on the Boostly podcast. We know there's lots of places you can put your attention. We really appreciate you putting it with us. Go and take some action and go and get some more bookings off the back of this. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Boostly podcast. Boostly like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely.